My name is Jean-Louis Marin. I'm the Chief Information Officer here at Dynamic Tire Corporation. We've been in business with IT Weapons for a good 5 years now. We were first introduced to IT Weapons through a colleague of mine here that works in my department, and his experience with IT Weapons goes back almost 10 years, I think, when you guys first started. So he highly recommended that we engage IT Weapons in our Citrix practice, and that's how we got to talking to Jason and Ted. They're very easygoing, honest, sometimes pretty brutally honest on stuff they can't do. They'll tell you right up front. They'll tell you if you're making a mistake, and obviously you're the client, and if you choose to ignore their recommendations, then you do so on your peril, because if Jason McBean tells you something that you shouldn't be doing, most likely you shouldn't be. So that's very refreshing, and I really appreciate that coming from both Ted and Jason. It's helped us quite a bit in the past. They monitor our infrastructure here. It's a little bit different in that here I have a data center that we built from scratch, again with the help of IT Weapons. And in this case, instead of being in their cage, in their rack, at their colo, they monitor stuff in this building. IT Weapons, from my perspective, is my backup. Because we're short-staffed, we're a small team, to have the expertise that you would require to run a full IT shop, I'd have to go out and hire maybe 4 different experts, a Citrix expert, an Exchange expert, Active Directory expert, VMware, SANS, networking. But with the help of IT Weapons, essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking those 4 salaries, combining them into one, paying them IT Weapons, and I've got access to 30 experts, which provide that level of support. So it's quite a win for us at Dynamic Tire. Everything we do when we start a new project, if it's related to any infrastructure type situation, IT Weapons are the first ones we go talk to. What makes IT Weapons different than other practices that I've had a lot of experience with is that when the folks at IT Weapons say they can do something, they can do it. If you encounter a situation where they say they can't do something, then they mean it. Whereas the other people that I've dealt with, the other companies that provide services, they tend to want to do everything but have no expertise or no knowledge in what they say they can do. So you end up in a situation where you've engaged a service provider and they've claimed they can do certain things, and when you look under the rug or under the hood, you find out that, well, they tried a lab experiment and suddenly they're experts. So the comfort and the trust you gain from talking to IT Weapons is that it's pretty upfront. We can do this, we own it, we own Cisco, we own VMware, we own virtualization of every kind, we own SANS, we own Exchange, we own Active Directory. That's our bread and butter, that's what we do. And by far, so far, I've not been disappointed by them. You approach the sales guys, they're not going to try to sell you anything. They're going to provide you a solution to your actual need. And they'll tell you, they'll say, well, you know what, we could go this route, but you know what, in practice, we've seen this work very well for your situation. So there's no sense in going out after this, even though it's a bigger technology, costs more, conceivably we would make more money. We'd rather provide you with what you need rather than, try to fit a circle in a square situation. And, I appreciate that honesty as well. You can't find a better support company out there. And I don't care if you're in the States, in Canada, wherever throughout the world, and we've worked with them throughout the world.